Hey, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Vechain. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. Also, I want to mention that I do have two links in the description to official donation websites. And if you want to support Ukraine in any way, or in a financial way, I should say, then you can go over to those websites and donate to support the Ukrainian refugees and Ukraine's military. So thank you all for donating. Thank you all for understanding. And I also want to mention my Patreon before we get started. This is a great way to support me and a great way for you to get more exclusive content. We have 5 different tiers with different benefits. Daily posts, as you can see, we have more than I would say close to 460 posts over here, and I do post on a daily basis, so you can check that out. Now let's jump into the charts. So taking a look at Vechain on the daily over here, so the white trend lines here represent a broadening descending wedge basically. So it looks like a rising wedge flipped to the other side and you're coming down this wedge. So this is a broadening descending wedge with a target all the way where it was created at 16, almost 17 cents. From where we are right now, that is close to 460% of profit. Now, the pink trend lines over here represent a falling wedge. This is basically another wedge, but this one you are going down. And the breakout target from this wedge is all the way up here at the 0.618, because this is where the wedge was created. As you can see, the white and pink trend line cross over here. This is the touch that is very important, and this is where we touch the golden ratio and got rejected from there all the way back down. Because once you have the Fibonacci retracement up, and if you want to know how to, or if you want to learn how to use the Fibonacci retracement, there's going to be a link in the top right hand corner of the video. Check that out. It's a full guide on how to use the Fib retracement. Now, looking at the Fib retracement, once you start retracing back down, you come up and you hit the golden ratio, then there's a lot more chances that you're going to come down to the first Fib level here. And if you lose the first Fib level, your technical target is the 1.618. And we've actually wicked to that area. And yeah, this is something to keep in mind. And I did have this target in my last video, April 28th, I think was the last video. So this right here is the target out of the falling wedge, okay, 0.08466. And from where we are right now, that is let me give you that, 174%. So, this is a potential good trade. Now, even if we go all the way up here, we break from this pattern, right? You run into this resistance potentially. I'm expecting to run into the yellow zone over here because this was a strong support zone. Potentially, we come back down, test the 1.272. Then we have another move to the upside. We may run into the white trend line. So bear in mind the white trend line. We could get rejected from there and come all the way down and test a support level. Potentially, we could start an uptrend over here. And what we could do on the other hand is that we could break out here with a potential backtest of support of the first Fib level. And we could even go all the way up to the golden ratio and still get rejected from there and continue on with the downtrend. That is still very possible. Obviously, it depends on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin starts, having a relief rally and we have a move all the way up to $40,000, we can still go back below 30 at that point. We need to break resistance to be bullish. So we need to break this swing high in order for Vechain to be bullish. And if we manage to do that, so let's say that this is our low over here, May 12th, that we printed this low just where the 1.618 is, and this is our high, then the 1.618 target is at 20 cents over here. And from where we are right now, that would be a nice 564% trade. But that's only if we start breaking resistances to target the 1.618, okay? So here to the downside, we have a 1.618 target at 0.023, and you can set some buy limit orders. If you already had them, you are potentially up 27%, which is great because I did have this level in the last video, and I always tell you to have your buy limit orders slightly above the support levels, because Usually people tend to pile in on one support level, on the exact level they set in their orders. And once the price comes down to that level, there is so many orders and you may not get filled and the price will reverse and you're forced to buy higher. So what I like to do is I like to set my orders slightly above the support zone. So if you did that here for Vechain, you would have been filled in and you're up here basically 27%. So draw this out on your chart. You have two patterns playing out right now. By all means, we could break out from the falling wedge, get rejected from the white trend line here, and continue on with the downtrend. Now, what I also want to do is I want to use the Elliott wave count to see how many waves we have in this pattern, because we peaked out over here. So this is going to be our wave 1. Okay, we have our wave 1 to the downside, wave 2 high, wave 3 low over here, but I'm not going to count in the wick. So wave 3 is usually the largest wave, but not in this case. Wave 4, which was a pretty deep wave, and then we have a wave 5, a low, and we're looking to print that low, and potentially that's going to be the 1.618 over here. And this is what I'm expecting, right? You could, in fact, you could go all the way down here and even bounce from the support of this descending broadening wedge. But we'll see if that happens. Okay, I'm going to keep that in there. I'm going to remove these ellipses, and yeah. So draw this out. I hope it's not very difficult. You have a falling wedge, you have a broadening descending wedge, you have two targets over here. We just need to bottom out, and while we're bottoming out, it's the best time to start dollar cost averaging. Now, let's jump into the daily RSI here. I haven't checked out the RSI. I do apologize. I didn't do that beforehand. But let me just see what we have going on. So you have that low, you have this low. So we don't have any bearish divergences right now. We did have a bullish divergence here, actually an exaggerated bullish divergence. As you can see, the RSI was printing higher lows over here, but the price action wasn't. So you did have this little move to the upside, and right now you're coming back down. And I do think we can actually, we don't need to remove this trend line because this is a support trend line. I'm going to get the price label over here at 35. As you can see, we bounced off this level here, here, here. We have multiple touches as support and resistance, so you need to watch out for that. You can look at this, and once you see a touch, you can potentially set an order and get involved with Vechain if that's what you're looking to do. You can also draw a trend line over here this way, right? And if you want to get real technical about it, we are potentially in this symmetrical pattern over here. As you can see, we are in a symmetrical triangle here. You have two touches on the resistance, three touches at the support trend line. So something's got to give here. Potentially we're going to break down. I would look for 35 on the index as support, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. If you do break out from here to the upside, I would look at the white trend line here as resistance, because we've had two bounces as support from this area, 1, 2, and even 3. You could say you lost it as support. You haven't really back tested that as resistance, so potentially this would be your back test of resistance. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for Vechain. Hopefully I didn't miss anything important. If I did, let me know down below in the comment section. Feel free to follow me on Twitter, guys. I do post technical analysis and some important updates over there. And make sure to follow me on Patreon. Thank you all for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye and good night.